Victor 9-1 fighting. Stop fighting me, bro. What the f***? No! Not you! Alright. What the f*** did I do, bro?
Police officers are often convinced that their badge and uniform grant them enormous power, but what happens when they go too far, cross the line, and are forced to face the consequences of their actions? Here are the craziest cases where Maniac cops either arrest or harass the wrong veteran, forcing them to learn a hard lesson.
I got some questions I'm going to want to ask you here in a few minutes. If you're willing to answer them, I appreciate that.
I have nothing to hide from you.
I appreciate that. Give me a few seconds. Can I make a couple phone calls, right? And then we'll start leaving those receipts and stuff like that.
The interaction began with a seemingly routine stop. Trooper Brown approached Marine veteran Stephen Laura with a friendly tone, commending him for his cautious driving, yet the conversation quickly pivoted due to a minor infraction following too closely behind a tanker truck. It appeared to be a simple traffic safety reminder, but little did Stephen know this stop was about to veer sharply into a scenario that would redefine his trust in the system.
Travel appearance. Hey, good morning, Trooper Brown to that Iowa Patrol. How are you today? I'm doing great. Hey, the reason I'm stopping you, we have a special enforcement campaign going on. We're trying to educate drivers about violations they may not realize they're committing, but we're seeing a big increase in crashes out here. First, applaud you on your driving. You drive great. You're driving really slow. It appears that you're trying to drive safely under the speed limit. I appreciate that. I just want to talk about your following distance, especially around commercial vehicles. Came up behind a red and blue tanker truck. A little bit too close behind him before he made that lane change to go around him. I know it's sitting over there. I was waiting for you to trying to give you room to get over there, because I know people like to jam you in that lane.
Coming out of there and people are out fast. So
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you got to navigate that.
Stephen went along with everything Trooper Brown asked, calmly handing over his license and registration, assuring him there were no weapons in the car. The officer's polite tone made it feel like a routine check, but the atmosphere subtly shifted when he asked Stephen to step out of the vehicle. What had seemed casual now carried an undercurrent of tension, hinting that this encounter might take an unexpected turn.
A little too close to him before you went around him, okay? As you passed those semi-trucks and you came back down to make that lane change in front of that semi-truck, too close. You were less than a second in front of him when you entered that lane. You were only 1 second in front of him when you fully occupied that lane. If something were to happen to you, man, that semi-truck would plow right through you. So we're seeing a bunch of crashes out here, just trying to educate people. You got your driver's license with you? Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Do you have a registration card with you? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Any weapons in the vehicle? Oh, perfect. Yeah, I can grab the brown one. That'd be great, man. Do me a favor, man. What I'm gonna have you do, I'm gonna have you come out of the car and talk to me while I go over this. Gotta make sure everything's valid. As long as everything's valid, my intention is to get you on down the road. It is a little chilly out here. I don't know if you want to throw your jacket on or anything like that. You sure? Yeah, sure. It's cold, man. I mean, I know it's cold in Texas right now. Come on out. No weapons on you, right?
The conversation took a personal turn when Trooper Brown noticed Stephen's tap-out shirt and struck up some friendly banter. Stephen opened up about his background as a retired Marine and cybersecurity chief, sharing his plans to settle in Texas near his daughters, a disciplined veteran starting a new chapter. But isn't it strange how this cop took such a keen interest in Stephen's private life?
All right, perfect. That's fine, man. You can leave it on, you can turn it off. It's completely up to you. You said your daughter lives up in Portola? Okay, they both up in Portola? Come on over here, man. You a fighter?
A fighter?
Yeah, you got a tap-out shirt on.
Well, I've got a lot of training. I'm a retired Marine.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. What'd you do for the Corps?
Well, I was a data chief initially, but
Okay.
then they changed the MOS to cybersecurity chief.
Okay, when'd you get out of the Corps?
I got out 2 years ago.
Okay. All right. What do your daughters do, man?
My daughters, what do they do? Oh, 15 and 13 years old. So
Okay, yeah, they're young.
they're real young.
Okay. All right.
I'm moving them to Texas, so yeah, I'm just coming down here and just looking for a place down in Texas. That's where I'm from. So
Okay. me a second, man. All right, just hang right there. Ever been in trouble with law enforcement before?
Stephen made two critical mistakes. First was engaging with the police at all despite having committed no crime, a choice that could have easily been avoided. The second mistake, however, would follow shortly after, a decision made at the moment without realizing it would alter not just his day, but the course of his entire life.
Okay. Would you give me permission to search your vehicle today? That's okay with you? Okay, perfect. How's it going? Hey, Steph, this is a consented search form, man. You said you'd give me permission to search your vehicle.
I don't have anything to hide from you guys.
I appreciate that, man. Do me a favor, just read through it. If you agree with it, I'm just going to ask you to sign and date it, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us, all right?
I don't even know what time it is. It's like
11:15. We deploy, Joe. Awesome. Thanks.
Without hesitation, Stephen, confident he had nothing to hide, agreed and signed a consent form after a brief explanation. These with which Laura complied reflected his trust in the process and his belief in transparency, yet this moment marked a turning point. What seemed like routine cooperation would soon spiral into an encounter with far-reaching implications.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Dude, would you still hang out right there for me? I appreciate that, sir. 250 on back.
As Stephen stood by the roadside calmly watching, Trooper Brown and his team began their search. To Stephen, it seemed more like a mere formality, a routine checkpoint that he had no reason to worry about, but for the officers, it was clearly something more. Their deliberate movements and sharp glances hinted at a deeper motive, perhaps a way to flex their authority and feed their egos under the guise of procedure. As officers continued their search, they stumbled upon something unexpected: bundles of cash tucked away in Stephen's vehicle. The weight of the discovery shifted the energy instantly, turning a routine stop into something much darker. Stephen remained composed, unaware that his life savings were about to become the focal point of a controversy.
Bringing that money in there, he's gonna put the stuff in here.
A bunch of presents up front, too. I'm gonna take some photos.
Military, I can see, man. All day.
the worst part wasn't just that these officers had no search warrant for what they were doing. After all, these are the same cops who swore an oath to uphold the constitutional rights of every citizen, rights they are now conveniently ignoring. It was as if those constitutional protections didn't exist in their eyes, yet even this wasn't the peak of their overstepping.
So this is region 40. This is region 53. I don't know if it's because the rim is a low profile.
Might be.
Or
This doesn't make sense. There's some receipts in here though.
he said he put receipts in there to show us his money.
Okay.
But
Yeah, will you check them out, just see what you think up there?
As the officers went through the bundles of cash, they found receipts mixed in, clear evidence that the money was legitimate, but instead of acknowledging that, they acted like they hadn't seen a thing. That was the turning point. The friendly smiles and casual tones from earlier vanished, replaced by something colder and far less reassuring. This was when their true intentions began to show.
All right, man, so here's the deal, all right? I think you're a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
So how much cash is that?
About 100 grand.
100 grand. Okay. So, as you know, right, I'm a vet, he's a vet, you're a vet. It's not illegal to carry currency, have currency.
Sure, it's not.
It does, though, make us ask some questions on why someone has 100,000. I understand why you don't trust banks, especially in this day and age right now.
The officers wasted no time in asking Stephen how much money he was carrying and why, yet even then, Stephen remained calm. He knew he wasn't doing anything illegal, that he had clear explanations and evidence to back everything up. What he didn't realize, though, was that the officers already had a complete different plan and a very different perspective already forming in their minds.
Discipline and lots of savings.
What's that?
Discipline and lots of savings.
So with that being said, if you're willing to talk to me about it a little bit, I'd like to. I know you got a bunch of receipts in there. I just want to make sure that it is your currency, that it's not being used for nefarious activities, right? That's not money laundering or something like that going on. That's the questions that it raised, that potentially money laundering or something like that's going on. So
That money right there is for my 2 daughters.
okay, you gonna give it to them on this trip or no? Or that's just your nuts?
That's my money and my two daughters' money and nobody else's.
Okay.
I take that money right there and I buy them things, put food on the table, I buy them clothes with that right there.
Fair enough.
And that's me looking at you man to man in your eyes and telling you exactly what that is.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I got some questions I'm going to want to ask you here in a few minutes. If you're willing to answer them, I appreciate that.
I have nothing to hide from you.
No matter what Stephen said, it didn't matter. The officer had already decided that carrying a large sum of cash must be tied to something suspicious, like money laundering. Stephen's heartfelt explanation that it was his life savings meant for his 2 daughters fell on deaf ears. The officer, it wasn't an explanation at all, just an excuse.
I appreciate that. Give me a few seconds. Can I make a couple phone calls, right? And then we'll start looking at those receipts and stuff like that.
Sure.
As long as it's, which it is, right? Your money and stuff like that, we'll get you on down the road.
Yeah, you can look at those account numbers. If you want to call Bank of America, you want to call any of those banks, ask them whose account number that is.
I believe it, right? I gotta do my job, and my bosses look at what I'm doing and make sure that I'm doing my due diligence. So
Sorry, I got to pick up my daughters before Tola at 4 o'clock p.m. So as long as I can make it there.
I think we'll get you there by 4 o'clock. No problem, sir. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Hey, if you don't mind, sir, I would appreciate if you just stay closer over here, man. Dogs get kind of weird when people are walking around. Thank you.
The officer assured Stephen that his money and receipts would be carefully reviewed, insisting that he was simply following protocol under the scrutiny of his superiors. But it was clear he was lying, making his intentions with a false politeness toward a man who had done nothing wrong. Didn't it feel like Trooper Brown was just testing Stephen's patience, almost baiting him to react? Perhaps he was hoping for an outburst that would simply justify turning this encounter into an arrest.
Hey, EJ, would you mind standing with him real quick?
What are your thoughts, dude?
I kind of leaning more towards, it's odd, but
It's odd, but it's not packaged
it's
like
not,
normal.
no, and he's answering the questions, there's receipts here, and
I would
even
like
though
to put the dog on the fence, man.
okay,
Those are all zeroed out. I mean, kids memo them out. It jives with the story,
yeah, I mean, everything lines, as odd as it is, everything lines up.
with the travel story and stuff like that. And I'm gonna get out my scale and weigh that.
The tension that Trooper Brown had stirred was quickly taken to a new level by another officer who escalated the situation with alarming intensity. This officer dismissed Stephen's story about the trip and his life savings as strange, deciding to insinuate that the money had been earned through various illegal drug sales. He then called a canine unit to sniff the cash as if to validate the baseless accusation.
You want me to set that up for deployment?
No, are you gonna run it or just gonna have to do it?
EJ ran the car.
Okay, I'll have to run it.
Okay. $5:37 time. Yeah, are you guys still tied up on that over there? 10-4. You have him come over here. Did you want Dunham to come over and run it? You want Dunham to come over and run it?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, he's on the other side of the freeway, so.
The decision to bring in another officer and even a canine unit for further scrutiny didn't faze Stephen much. He still believed these officers were simply doing their job, convinced they were good men upholding the law. Stephen's faith in their integrity remained unshaken, rooted in his own experience as an honest public servant. What he didn't realize was that he was on the verge of a harsh reality check, one that would shatter his belief in the system he had once served.
Actually, we can run it.
Just do it real quick.
Yeah, just do it.
All right, get it done. Okay. What's the area it's in, Sarge? I didn't see you place it up there.
This shoulder from about 10 yards in front of this car to probably about 10 yards behind that signpost right there.
Okay, just kind of the edge of the stage right there. Perfect. Go potty, bud.
Do you think that these cops pushed the limits of their bad behavior because Stephen allowed them from the start? I feel like he was too polite to these power-hungry, tyrannical officers. I'm curious, how long would your patience last in a situation like this? What would you do if you were in his place? Share your thoughts in the comments.
Positive alert. Huh?
We'll go forward with it.
Okay.
At one point, Stephen began to piece things together, realizing the bigger picture of what was happening, but by then, it was far too late to change the course of the encounter. The officers had already surrounded his car, preparing to unleash the dog on his money. It finally hit Stephen just how abnormal the situation was, 5 officers focusing all their energy on harassing an innocent man, while real criminals roamed free, waiting for law enforcement to do their jobs.
Positive canine alert.
The officers meticulously sifted through the receipts, their eyes scanning for any detail that might contradict Stephen's story. They seemed desperate to find anything to justify their actions, but unfortunately for them, everything was perfectly legal. If you think this would be enough for the police to admit defeat and let Stephen go on his day, you'd be mistaken. The worst was yet to come.
Photos of those receipts, do you know? Or
No.
do we want to take those?
Yes, we all want to run your photos of it.
Or? Okay. You want to take photos?
And then he has shows that he gets like 2 G's from the government for his truck, and he gets a G taken out from California.
Okay.
Where was the money at?
In this backpack back here.
Honestly, the worst part wasn't just that these police officers unnecessarily wasted Stephen's time, it was that they publicly humiliated him, portraying him as a criminal. Imagine how this situation would have looked to people passing by even though he hadn't done anything wrong.
Yeah. They come back in.
So you put it in that bag with the rest of those receipts.
Instead of treating Stephen with the respect he deserved as a cooperative veteran, the officers seemed more focused on justifying their actions. Did you also notice how frustrated they looked when they couldn't find anything, absolutely nothing against this honest man? Yet, despite the receipts and clear explanations Stephen provided, they just kept searching his car endlessly.
Yeah, you can have that. If you want to take a test.
Are you grabbing one right now?
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Okay. You want to initial the bag?
Yeah.
Okay. You can get your Sharpie. You want to initial across that seal there?
one point, one of the officers began repacking Stephen's belongings into a car, a gesture that usually signals the situation is coming to an end. At least, that's what Stephen thought.
You want a photo of that with your initials on it? It's all up to you. It's not, but it should be there. Hey, Deputy Dunham, could you do me a favor and start putting that tire and the luggage back in the truck for me? Yes. And that tire is from the car too. Yep.
I just want to let you know that
Tire go underneath your batteries.
We just in there. Yeah.
just want to let you know, I know you're just doing your job. That money I worked really hard for.
Stephen's patience was beginning to wear thin as he realized he couldn't get out of the situation as easily as he had thought, despite having done nothing wrong. It became clear to him that the officers had known from the start what they intended to do, and everything in between was just a facade to make it look like they were following protocol. Despite his explanations, one of the officers informed him of something truly shocking.
Money that I have in my jacket is only $3. All I need to pay for my kids, bills, my hotel, and that car back to Texas. So, I know you're just doing your job. Stuck here unless somebody sends me some money. I'm not waiting. Riding for my children. Getting back to Texas. So, like I said, I know you're just doing what you feel is best, but
Like, you know, my sergeant, it sounded like my sergeant talked to you about that a little bit, told you what was going on, along those lines. So,
I just wanted to tell you, Officer Brown, you're taking money out of your kid's mouths.
sorry.
Or you're taking food out of your kid's mouths.
Like I said, we believe right now that this is drug proceeds versus currency.
Well, I'm going to prove to you that it's not.
Perfect.
Can you believe the police decided to confiscate Stephen's money, claiming they were convinced it came from drug sales, even though they had absolutely no reason to suspect it as such a thing? If you think about it, the story becomes even more absurd when you realize that the part where the dogs were supposed to sniff the money is missing. Does that mean the officers are hiding something that could expose their dishonorable acts?
What I'd like to do is, before we depart, I'd like to get all of your information.
You will. You're going to get a receipt for all of this stuff. That'll have all the information that you need.
I'd like to get your information, your sergeant's information,
It's all
other deputies.
the stuff will be on the receipt associated with the report. It's all okay.
I'd like that names.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Badge number, so correct, it's 140.
Yep.
That the officer's name back there, what's his name?
It's my vowel. Which one?
Honestly, Stephen deserves respect for how calm he remained until the very end, even after losing all the money he'd spent years saving for his children. Despite everything, he still treated the officers with respect, even though they didn't deserve it. But don't worry, these cops are about to learn a lesson.
Trying to name the guy. Yeah, Tremaine vowel.
How do you spell his name for me?
T-U-M-A-N-V-A-O. Badge number is 274.
274.
Yeah.
So, receipt for you for the currency. I know how to do this currency.
The gentleman's name right there, what's his name?
That is Deputy Dunham, Washington County Sheriff's Office. D-U-N-H-A-M. What's his badge number?
3274.
His badge number, sir?
3274.
Although Stephen remained calm, he wasn't about to let it slide. He made sure to take down the names and badge numbers of all the officers, sensing that a major lawsuit was on the horizon. But that wasn't the main point. As someone who had served his country and was now a deserving veteran, the last thing Stephen expected that day was to be treated with such disrespect.
This is all I get here?
That's what you get, yes, sir. You're going to get noticed in the mail as well at that address, okay?
So what do I need to do? I mean, I'm going to contact an attorney.
Absolutely, right? So
what do I need to
you
do?
contact the Reno DEA. My sergeant gave you that information, told you who to contact over there. You're also going to be...
Attorney told them, because they end up usually calling us. The first actually need to call the DEA. They're the ones who...
The officers' actions painted a stark picture of unchecked authority. Maybe at that moment, they thought they were doing the right thing. Maybe they even felt powerful. But the reality is, they decided to confiscate someone's money without a shred of evidence. To me, their actions amount to nothing less than breaking the law, something for which they should face serious consequences.
Where are my receipts at?
Why you gotta stop him?
Have you also noticed how much easier it is for police officers to act like tyrants when they're in a group, especially when they outnumber the person they're targeting? What's even worse is that their behavior reflects poorly on the entire department, even though not all officers were involved. If they had a competent sergeant who held them accountable and pointed out their mistakes, they would never behave like this, don't you think?
Call forward right now. She can probably get out the way.
Perfect. Yeah, go back in.
The fact that the officers were casually chatting with each other after everything they had done speaks volumes about their complete lack of fear of any consequences. There's nothing worse than a police officer who believes they're untouchable and immune to punishment for their actions. It's clear these cops thought they were above the law.
Weight 86 with those rubber bands, so maybe 85, I don't know. But that's what my guess is.
I know that the savings that I have from having some money. Exactly. More like 15.
Oh,
These Maniac cops may not have arrested the veteran, but they made a serious mistake when they confiscated his life savings. As a result, he filed 2 lawsuits against the officers, tarnishing their reputations. However, these aren't the only police officers who have clashed with the wrong veteran. Dalvin Gadsden, a 29-year-old veteran and homeless man, was pulled over on October 9th in Colorado Springs for not having a license plate on the back of his car. However, as soon as the officer who made the stop noticed that the driver had a different skin color than him, the situation began to escalate.
Hey, stay in the car. Hey, let me see your hand, man. Both hands. Victor 9, is there a Tom car available? Man, why are you trying to get out? All right, when do you get out of the car on a traffic stop? What's in that hand?
Although everything still appeared to be a simple traffic stop, the behavior of this police officer revealed how dangerous it can be when officers allow racial profiling to shape their judgment. This was just the beginning, yet the officer was already showing signs of paranoia, treating the man as though he posed a significant threat.
Cool. All right, roll this window down for me. All right, man, so the reason I pulled you guys over, hey, I'm doing good. The reason I pulled you guys over is because there's no plates on this car.
Screws. I need new screws for my,
Okay,
back part.
okay. All right, you guys have a driver's license on you, ID?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have ID on you, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
The police officer made a significant mistake here by deciding to question the passenger, even though protocol dictates that officers should address the driver. However, this was only the first in a series of errors these officers made that night, and believe me, there were many more to come.
Yeah. All right, hang tight, okay?
Everything that follows in this incident becomes even more troubling when you realize the officer should not have stopped the driver in the first place. Galvin was driving at 15 miles per hour in a 45 mile per hour zone, 3 times below the speed limit. However, police officers determined to punish someone will always find an excuse and craft a scenario to justify their actions.
Smell the weed from here. Is that coming from my car? Yeah. Yeah, like right away when I pulled him.
Over the radio, the officer even gave a report filled with false accusations to his colleagues, whom he had called for backup. While the concern about the knife in the car's console might have been justified, the officer also cited several other excuses that were clearly unjustified and aligned with the racial profiling we're already engaged in.
He like tries to get out immediately. Just 2 of them in there. Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to pull him out. Looks like there was a knife in the center console. Yeah, I was just waiting. Can you read that? Carlos. Maybe? Yeah. Victor 9, we're code 4. Just gonna detain driver.
As soon as backup arrived, the officer decided to detain the driver as if it was his personal judgment to make. Interestingly, the officer claimed to have a good reason for the arrest, yet made no mention of the knife that had been primarily the focus just moments earlier, nor the missing license plate that had prompted the initial stop.
All right, man. So, gonna ask you to just not reach for anything and step on out of the vehicle, okay?
Where I'm going out the vehicle for?
We'll talk about that, okay? So just step on out.
You got his ID already?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just sit right here if that's cool.
Nope. All right, we're gonna detain you, okay?
Detain me?
Yep, you're under investigation for a DUI. All right, so stand up, turn around, hands behind your back.
Hands behind my back. Yes, you're gonna be detained for handcuffs. No, I'm not.
You're about to stand up.
The situation turned physically aggressive the moment Dalvin disobeyed the officer's orders to get out of the car, officers who clearly had an inflated sense of their own authority. This disobedience bruised their egos, and there's truly nothing more dangerous than a cop with a bruised ego, and you'll soon see. These officers went to great lengths to restore their damaged pride.
Victor 9-1 fighting.
Stop fighting me, bro. Quit f***ing fighting. You're assaulting me. I'm not assaulting you, bro. Get out of the car. I got ready. Stop fighting me, bro. Get out. You're under arrest. I'm not hitting you, my dog. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. All right. Let me get up. Let me get up. You ain't getting up. Hand behind your back now. My bro, let me get up. You're under arrest. All right, bro. What is this? Bro, crazy, bro. I know. Put your hands on your back. All right, bro.
Maybe Dalvin was wrong to resist, but nothing, absolutely nothing, justifies what the police did. Punching him from the passenger side and kneeing him in the face was an egregious abuse of their badge and authority. Those officers clearly wanted to inflict harm, and their aggression didn't subside for a long time.
You done? Flip over now! You're under arrest! All right, my nigga, all right. Put your hand behind your back! My nigga, get on your stomach now! What the f***? Now! Not you! All right. What the f*** did I do, bro? Stop, Marty. I ain't fighting, don't kill. Get on your back now. All right, I'm trying, my nigga. My brother. Oh, my brother. Oh, my God.
We are
arm behind your back now! Oh shit, what did I do? Right hand behind your back now! Yes, sir. Hey, I said right hand behind your f***ing back now! Okay.
The officers deliberately forced Dalvin into a position where he couldn't move, then intentionally ordered him to put his hands behind his back, fully aware that he was unable to comply. The motive behind this behavior is deeply troubling, as it appears the officers wanted to capture footage of Dalvin resisting arrest to justify their appalling actions.
We got 2 detained.
Stay here. Stay here.
Yep.
Stay here.
Man, this is right.
That's what you were saying?
Come on. You're under arrest. You dumb Hey. One time fight us. So,
What the f are you talking about, man?
that's bro. Next, we could slow everyone down. Code 4, finish up everyone at 10 minutes. Supervisor medical, code 2. Good? Yeah.
Let's do just a high risk on him.
What'd you say?
High risk search on him.
We're just gonna pat him. We're gonna go to your butt, okay? Roll. Sit. Yeah.
You go. No, you're done. You're done. You're all right. He's fine. You guys are good.
It's clear to everyone that these officers were the ones who overreacted. They realized it the moment Dalvin could no longer get off the ground. Naturally, this became their clue to fabricate a story portraying themselves as the victims and Dalvin as a threat, a narrative that made little sense given that they were armed and outnumbered him.
Dude, holy shit.
Kept going back in.
Dude, I fucking drew down on him when you were hitting him. I had that left arm. It's like, don't fucking do it, dude. Holy shit. Dude, what?
Because Dalvin was homeless, the officers assumed that combined with his different skin color, they had a better chance of portraying him as a villain. They fabricated claims that he started kicking an officer and acting aggressively, even though footage from their body cameras clearly shows otherwise.
When I pulled him, he tries to get out immediately.
Yeah. Is he going to be detained for a DUI investigation?
Yeah, I was waiting for you guys to pull him out. Looks like there was a knife in the center console.
Okay.
Hey, Victor 9, code 4. Good.
Read that.
Send me next one. Copy.
He's not behind the return to go.
Hey, Victor 9.
Victor 9, okay.
Hey, talk.
Just gonna detain driver.
If you still believe these officers acted out of genuine fear for their safety, let's revisit the events, this time from the perspective of another officer. Seeing the incident again from this angle will undoubtedly reveal just how arrogant and self-important these policemen truly were.
Says he got a knife or something in the center console.
We'll talk about that, okay? Come on now. You got your ID or anything? You got his ID too already? Okay.
I'm gonna do this shit right here. That's cool.
No, you can get out of the car.
We're gonna detain you, okay?
Detain me?
Yeah,
What?
you're under investigation for DUI. Alright, so stand up, turn around.
Step out of the car. Step out of the car, man.
Hands behind my back.
Yes, you're going to be detained in handcuffs.
Oh, no, I'm not.
We're about to stand
You
up.
are.
Hey! Hands off me!
Dalvin was not aggressive while sitting in the car and did not pose a direct threat to the officers. So what do you think triggered the police to act so aggressively towards him? Any reasonable person in their position would have opted for less violent methods, such as using a taser, even though that also would have been unnecessary in this situation.
Stop fighting me, bro! Fucking fighting! He's assaulting me! I'm not assaulting, bro! He's kicking me!
Where's he at? Airport Road, Millitary, please.
I got radio. Get us some units. Code 3.
You're under arrest! I'm not here, my dog!
Airport Road, Millitary, leave back.
Put your hands behind your back, you're under arrest!
Code 3.
Alright, let me get up, let me get up! Put your hands behind your back now! Bro, let me get up. You're under arrest. Alright, bro. Quit resisting. Bro, please, bro. Yes. Oh, bro, I love y'all. Put your hands behind your back. Alright, bro.
What will disappoint you the most about this incident is its aftermath and how other officers attempted to defend the two policemen involved in harassing Delvin. This defense is truly shocking given everything that transpired, but more on that later. First, let's examine more of the unacceptable behavior exhibited by the officers who were supposed to protect us.
Flip over now! On your left! I'm on the guy! Put your hands on your back! My nigga, get on your stomach now! What the f*** now? Get up to me! I'm right! What the f*** did I do, bro? Stop fighting. I ain't fighting, I don't kill. Get on your back now! I'm trying, my nigga. My brothers. Oh, my brothers. Oh, my brother. Oh, my brother. Oh, my God.
We are still
behind your back now. Oh, shit, what did I do? Right hand behind your back now. Yes, sir. Hey, I said right hand behind your f***ing back now. Okay.
Although the officers made countless mistakes, perhaps the most unforgivable was their failure to call 911 even after rendering Delvin unable to move, stand, or speak. He was covered in blood, yet they waited for their supervisor as if nothing had happened. It was as if they believed his life was less valuable because he was homeless.
We got 2 detained,
Stay here.
roll medical,
Stay here.
and the supervisor.
I got the need medical 203.
You're under arrest. You dumb f***.
Hey. What trying to fight you?
314, do you still need units code 3?
Slow everyone down. Code 4, 1 in custody, 1 detained. Supervisor medical, code 2.
God.
I copy. 14 is I'm tied up on this. If you need to look at a different division for a supervisor.
Be firm, I'll pull someone somewhere else. Thank you.
Some officers persist with their behavior to the very end, even if it means digging themselves into a deeper hole. Just listen to how this officer stood in front of the injured Delvin and complained his knee hurt, while Delvin lay motionless on the ground.
You can clear code 1.
Could you repeat your last?
Holy
228, when you get here, if you can come up here with this gentleman with me. He said you can clear the code 1.
Okay, clear code 1, 304.
23, copy.
Yeah,
You good?
he just kept going back in.
Yeah, no.
Dude, I
Very from CJC, what's going on?
304.
Knee hurts. Yeah.
The ironic part is that this officer, who complained about his knee pain, realized he wasn't getting enough sympathy, so he doubled down on playing the victim, trying to make it seem like he was the only one hurt. Just listen how exaggerating his breathing became.
Cap Mark.
Dude, my f***ing knee hurts.
You good?
3 out of 38.
Good.
For AMR's information, what are we needing meds for?
Victor 77, you can show me out.
However, the arrival of the supervisor on the scene added a completely new perspective to the entire incident. Instead of holding the officers accountable, teaching them a lesson when he saw a motionless man on the ground and ordering them to surrender their badges for unworthy conduct, he chose to speak to them casually. His approach indirectly conveyed that they were all in this together.
One of our parties is going to have a couple blows to the head. He's bleeding out of his arm and his face. The other one I think is fine.
I copy.
I just say something. Yeah, it's just going to be our one party that's bleeding out of his head and his arm. So they need medical for. Second party detained was not had any use of force on him.
I copy.
Hey, before he goes, take pictures of him. Hey, Cap. Stone.
Pay attention to the final conversation between the supervisor and the officers who used force. Listen to their voices. They knew they had made a mistake, but they did nothing to address it, nor did they have any intention of doing so. Instead, they continued to laugh, using their laughter to deflect and cover up what had happened.
They were acting so weird when I came up. Made him put his hands out the window. He was so weird. It's like, keep your hands out the window. Gave me his ID. He's back here.
Everybody good?
He did not get out of that car. That's
What do you guys need? Besides?
Pull 14 on scene.
307.
Yeah, that's mine. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we got enough that are coming, so you guys can just stay out of it for here. I almost backed into coach trying to get here because I heard you say one's fighting. I was like, where are they? Because I have my computer inside.
It was a fight.
I tried to reach down into the airport Major League, but I couldn't get to my radio.
No, it was a fight. He was fighting back.
Yeah. Well, you get here and he looks like that. Which I assume was you.
Yeah, me. It was all three of us.
Delvin was arrested and charged with second-degree assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, obstructing an officer, and driving under the influence. Meanwhile, Maniac cops who arrested the wrong veteran faced no immediate consequences, as their department concluded that the use of force was in accordance with policy, drawing sharp criticism for perpetuating a culture of impunity. However, after Delvin was hospitalized with serious facial injuries, the case regained prominence. Let's hope these officers finally learn their lesson. If you thought today's video was wild, get ready for the next one, because there are even worse cops out there.